Hello, darlings. Bunny Galore here, the queen of the cult movies, and welcome back to another episode of Bunny and the Beast. I am here with my cohort himself from hell. It's the one and only Beast. Hi, James.
Hello. Which pit of hell am I from today?
The 7th level.
The 7th. Okay, so we're nearly at the full descent.
You're nearly at the bottom. What's new? Anyway, more importantly, we have.
Oh, wow, you started early today.
I'm like, wired. I've had a cup of tea. We are here with a very, very special guest. One of my favourite people in the industry, and one of the nicest, and the most talented, and the most beautiful. Sorry, Beast. It's Mary Mack.
Hi. The one and only Mary Mack.
Now, Thank goodness there's only one of me.
Oh, there's only definitely one of you. So I was thinking, I've been talking to our friends, Aidan and Roddy, and explaining how I met Gok, and I was doing pantomime with him. I actually met him the year before, but I did pantomime with him in Southampton.
Yes.
We were already friends, I think, online in the days. Probably Facebook even. It wasn't even Instagram at that point.
Oh, you're showing your age there.
Well, Instagram was there. We just didn't really use it as we put the odd photograph up, and that was about
and
it.
how things have changed.
Yeah,
use
really.
Facebook anymore.
No, no. I had to go back and check Facebook for the first time in about a month. Messages. I was like, sugar. So, let alone Bunny Galore's Facebook, which is even like worse. That's like cobwebs.
Sex bot.
Yes, yeah. I wish. But I realised we'd met on the final night in pantomime. And normally that's the night you pack up all your stuff and you leave the city. And, you know, in those days, everything would go in a van and we would just go home. And I was near home. But that night he'd gone, oh, Mary Mack's on in Southampton. Let's go out. And I would never normally go out on that night. But I've realised now, I think you've caused the friendship between me and Gok to continue all this time, because we woke up with a hangover the next day. I crashed at his flat. So the next morning, because we're a little bit hungover, gentle listeners, and so we had the lunch that we're still having today to sober ourselves up, which is, you know, sitting around eating, talking about boys, our lives and everything. And we're still having the same lunch 9 years later. I'm blaming you.
It's all your fault.
All my fault.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy about that, though. That's fantastic.
And that's the first time we met in person. We obviously knew each other.
Yes,
And
yes.
it was so lovely. But also, you still look about 17 now. So it was like a Victorian urchin up a chimney. How old were you then? When did Mary Mack start?
Dorian Gray?
14 years ago now.
Oh, and you were 14 at the time.
I was 14, no. I was like 18, 19, I think.
Oh, my word, you were young.
I was young.
Wow.
Very
You
young.
shouldn't have those photographs of your top off bouncing around that nightclub in Southampton. Anyway, with other dancers.
I was 19, it's all right.
It was consensual.
Yes. But yeah, a long time now.
Yeah,
I think nearly 15 years almost.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So what I can't remember, though, is where the name Mary Mack comes from. Who's that inspired by?
It's my mum's name. Yes.
Oh.
So when we were all growing up, I'm one of 5 kids. I'm middle child. Apparently middle child seeks attention.
I've heard that before. I've heard that before.
Are you the baby? I can't remember.
No, I'm one of the middle children.
Right.
So me and my brother are sandwiched between 2 girls.
Oh.
And we're both gay, so there's a load of therapy right there.
What does Alan call that? A cursed vagina. That's what it is.
Oh, wow.
I think that's what my mum called it as well.
But yeah, that's my mum's name. And when we were all growing up, wherever we went, people would say, oh, that's Mary Mack's kids. And it's just stuck.
It's just stuck.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great name. It's a great, 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 great name. And does Mum love Mary Mack as much?
Mum thinks she's the celebrity. Mum absolutely loves
She
it.
came down to London a few
She was
weeks ago.
here a few weeks ago. She came to the Vauxhall Tavern to watch the show.
That's right, she did, yeah.
And she's legendary in there. I mean, they love her. She doesn't buy drinks. She doesn't do anything. She's
Proper celeb.
She's a celebrity, yeah. She loves it.
Are you on stage playing your mum, or a version of that you saw your mother as?
I mean, I think a lot of my humour comes from my mum. She is very quick and she's very funny. She's very honest. Thankfully, she can't sing, or she'd probably have my career. So yeah, I'm grateful for that. But
I want to see her do the 9-minute medley.
14 minutes now,
14
you know.
now.
We've upped it. It's upped.
Yeah.
Oh,
She wouldn't manage that. She's got bad knees.
same.
I can barely do it. Like watching, dancing along with you. For those who don't know, Mary is a stalwart of the drag scene in the UK. Well, internationally, darling, and of theatre as well. Because I've seen you in Jamie, and now you're in La Cage aux Folles at the Regents Park Theatre, out in the elements, battling away. But that's just opened as we're recording this. I think. Did you have problems on the opening night? Are you?
Sadly, press night got rained off, yes, which was a real shame. and we got about 50, just about 50 minutes in.
Right.
So everyone got on pretty much. But then sadly it had to be rained off. But it's just one of these things.
Yeah.
And we still had an amazing party. Of course, the minute we all got into our outfits and got outside, it was bone dry for the rest of the night.
Exactly.
Typical that.
Yeah, very typical. But then the press came back in over the next few nights and we've had incredible reviews and word of mouth is huge on it and it's busy. And we've just announced today that we're extending for a week. Yes.
Oh, more chance for us to go see it.
Yes. Have you ever? Is it weird when you go home? When you go home and perform, do you feel like
To Scotland?
Yeah.
It's very strange for me because obviously I'm Scottish and I'm a Scottish drag queen.
Get out.
I know. As she downs another bottle of Iron Brew.
Never had Iron Brew.
Have you never had it?
No.
Oh, that's probably why you've got lovely teeth and none of mine are my own. But I actually don't do a lot in Scotland, unfortunately. There is a big drag scene up there now. There wasn't when I first started.
No, there wasn't. Which is
I'd love to go back and do more. I mean, who knows? Next year there's a whole lot of other things happening.
Well, you've toured, I guess. Maybe you've ended up there.
Yeah, I've been
You did
back when
Jamie
we
and
did
things.
Jamie in Aberdeen and Edinburgh and Glasgow, and I gigged when I was there. So there's still opportunities, and
Yeah, same. Because it's quite nice to do those things. Remind you what you've achieved and what you've done. You've achieved a hell of a lot.
Well, yes.
Without being on a reality TV show.
No, I haven't sold my soul to anyone just yet.
Do the
I mean, I think I've been lucky in terms of the Drag Race thing that I worked with a lot of the girls when they were at the height of everything. So that's where I met Bianca.
Yes, I was going to say.
And
it's
so I've always been connected to it without having to actually do it. I think my name gets banded around a lot alongside them,
Well, you're.
but I'm not doing it.
Because
You
you're
know,
not doing it.
because I'd be rubbish on it. Everyone says to me, you should do it, you win it, you'd be great. I can tell you right now, I'd be absolutely rubbish on it.
Why
I
would
can't sew, I can't do my own hair, I can barely paint my own face, I can't lip sync. All the things that program won, I can't do. So I'm like, and everyone's like, yeah, but it's a personality thing. It's a
Yes, obviously. As far as reality TV goes, you're gold. Like Danny Beard, I would put a camera on you like this, just this.
Yeah.
And press record and leave
Great
you
fun,
for
absolutely.
Leave
But
you
the
for 45 minutes.
challenges.
Yes.
Week 1, I'd be bottom 2, and then I'd have to lip sync against some 17-year-old who can bend every single way, and I'd be game over. Unless it was a lovely slow song.
It's a bit of a Shirley Bassey thing.
Yes.
Absolutely fine. I've always wanted to do it because I'd watched it. You know, I was on a musical Grease at Piccadilly, and we also watched it when season 1 came out. So I think even though the runway stuff was so alien that fashion is not like something a drag queen does. So I've but I think I've got like Stockholm syndrome of like thinking it's a good idea. But I think this year I've suddenly went, I will be not that great either, and I can sew, and I
Yes, you do,
can paint
yeah. You
myself,
do
you know,
wigs and all
and I do
sorts,
wigs,
yeah.
but
You do loads
it
of stuff.
doesn't mean I don't think I would be very good at it now either. But I used to think I could get away with it. It's only when you practically, really, really think about it
Yes.
that you go, oh God.
But I wonder, is that the imposter syndrome that everyone has going, oh, wait, actually, the mountain of work it takes to get to there, it's like, oh, I might not be able to do this. We like to talk ourselves out of anything that's scary.
That's scary, yeah. And I'm not... I didn't think I was that scared about it, but this year, I think just more the practical brain side of me. Would it stop me? No, not in a heartbeat, but it does make me go, oh, and also I'm perhaps not quite the same age level as all the other girls now.
But it's such a I do think for the UK, however long it runs for, I don't know how many more series it's got left in it, if I'm honest. But they do need to be looking at queens who are from another generation. We've seen all the as fantastic as they are, and I love lots of them, you know.
Yeah,
but they're young, and there's
young.
no one. I mean, Danny, of course, had lots of experience. Danny's been doing it for a long time and is great. Same with Davina and the Vivian, you know. And these people really shine.
Yeah.
But the younger lot, and I know they bring a different thing, the aesthetic and the dancing and everything. But the actual lived experience of a drag queen. Not a lot of those people are applying or certainly not getting on it.
No, I think a lot of those are being cast to see the progression journey. With
Yes,
them, I think,
which makes sense.
Which makes sense. And it's always lovely to see that in a Big Brothery kind of way. Not really that practical after the show finishes, because it's not the golden ticket it was up to about season 8 or 9 with the US.
Of the US,
version.
for sure.
Yeah,
Now
it's
there's
just so much. It's just so saturated now. You wait 1 week, and then there's another one, and then another one. That everyone, you just forget everyone's name, and you don't really invest in anyone.
No.
like
I'm really struggling now with who's been on the last seasons.
which is at their detriment because the queens are so talented
'cause they're
and they're brilliant.
Season
But
15 was one of the best in years, and I'm still struggling now to remember.
which one's that? Which
Sasha-
which one's
Sasha
that?
Colby.
Yes, brilliant.
But yeah, incredible. But
I
exactly.
can name you 2 queens.
But not their fault.
Yeah.
It's because we've just
There's
had
so
All
many,
Stars
yeah.
8 as well, which was a great season as well of girls. So I will always say you should always do it. If I can't do it, I want you to do it.
No, I'm not doing it. I won't do it. I can't do it. And there's a massive part of me that's like, there's a massive part that says, don't do it. And also because I'm really happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And the minute you do it, if you do really well on it, it becomes all consuming. And you're going to be doing all that stuff, which of course is great.
Yeah.
But I'm also very happy with the things that I've managed to do on my own.
Exactly.
With help from friends and everyone, you know, of course. But yeah, I quite like to just see how long I can keep going at it myself.
Exactly.
I think do your own London drag bar.
Yeah.
Famous drag queens of London. So get you two, get Sandra, get Mrs. Moore.
Oh yeah. That's
all
true.
those sort
Like
of people on and make your do your own.
But I've
version.
said this, I don't know why Channel 4 or the BBC, well, not BBC because of Drag Race, but it's another channel, aren't actually just looking at doing a programme about drag right now. And the actual queens who are out there working across the country. Manchester's got amazing queens. Birmingham's got great queens.
exactly,
Brighton, of course.
Yeah.
There's a real, because I know they did Drag Queens of London years ago. But we've come a long way since then, even.
Well, I brought the DVD of that to show Aidan and Roger.
Oh, really?
And I
The
kind of-
DVD or the VHS?
it was the DVD. That was the only way you
Wasn't
could
that
find-
long ago.
that long ago. But that was the only way you could get it, was DVD. It's like, it's not on any platform at all. It's been scrubbed from,
Oh my God.
from everywhere. Probably because of copyright more than anything. It is fascinating. But everyone's so, I mean, Vicky looks so young.
Yeah.
Sheila Sims is in it as well. It's kind of, Bagger looks about 12.
Yeah.
Hard to believe, I know, but no, she's still. You know, I always think of her so much younger than me, Bagger, but because of that show,
Yes.
because she was so young on that. Lloyd, oh my goodness, Lloyd
Everyone
looks-
was on it at one point, yeah.
I remember being annoyed that I wasn't asked on it, 'cause I think I'd just stepped away from the Wham Bam Club for a few months at that point, the regular show I was doing at Cafe de Paris,
Yes.
because. I was never on that really commercial scene particularly, but I was still annoyed I wasn't on it till I saw it. Then I was like,
And were you thankful that you weren't on it?
I was like, oh, dodge bullet, there we go. Ooh, that was lucky. Oh, I know, I'm fine over here, thank you very much. Because they didn't know, every episode was very different, and it was one of those where it was back in the days when reality was playing mean still, before
Yes.
Drag Race kind of really took hold. Not that saying it's not mean, Drag Race, but it is compared to like, because I remember going for a pilot, which is a bit like Davina's show that she did. Do you remember the one where she was on like the BBC show with the hundreds of people, and she
Oh,
was
yes, All Together Now.
All Together Now.
Yes.
I always called it the 100 for some reason. I did. I think
That's a different
Yeah, it
show.
is,
That's like
isn't
a
it?
Hunger Games survival show.
yeah, aren't they all really?
Davina's on that as well.
She's in there. But I think I did a prototype version of that and didn't realise for
Right.
Endemol. And they had me with this site, but they had labels on us like Burlesque Queen, which is Lady Alex, obviously, or like Pearly King. It was all, but you know, about 6 of us were actually plants, so we were doing the talking. The other people, were just
Right,
people.
yeah.
And mine was really a man. Was the sign I had.
No way, really?
2011. And people ask me, why did you stop doing reality TV? That's why.
Yeah.
Shit like that. I got sick of being like in such toxic things you would never allow to be done then. I actually complained to the producers and I got the name changed, and because I just finished pantomime, I think when we were doing the proper pilot, it was changed to like, oh no she isn't, or something like that.
Right.
Which was like, okay, that's cute.
Yes, it's
I'm
more
still
of a
dressed as
gag.
Bunny Girl, although I'm not dressed as a
They couldn't just
pantomime
title you Pantomime Dame.
thing. You would think, wouldn't you? Yeah, it was really, it was that, and being of some dog reality show that I remember going with, some sort of like BGT but for dogs, at 7 o'clock in the morning, full burlesque. That made me go, never again.
Yes.
That's why I swore off reality TV. Anyway, you don't need that, darling, because you're fabulous now. You're part of an amazing company in town. What is it like working with Stephen Mear?
Oh, Stephen Mear's a legend.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known Stephen for a long time. Stephen would come and see my shows in Brighton, and we got introduced through Jenny Dale, who's gorgeous as well.
Yeah.
And forever I've said I want to do something with you,
Yeah.
even if I do a one-woman show, would you choreograph a number for me? And Stephen's always like, absolutely, I'd love that, darling, with some boys and whatever, it'd be gorgeous. And then when I found out he was doing La Cage, I was like, this is my shot. This is really my shot to get in here. And I badgered. Because I don't have an agent, I don't have a manager, I do it all myself.
Do it yourself, yeah.
So I was just like, who do I need to send my stuff to? And Stephen was very helpful and said, darling, not a problem, I'll tell you who's to blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I sent my CV in and they brought me into audition, and here we are now doing it. And Stephen is amazing because, especially, I love his work anyway, I've loved him for years. He's so creative. But on La Cage now, and I love the show, I've seen it lots, I've seen lots of different versions, and the Cagelles are very typically big leggy girls who can all
They're
be
showgirls, aren't they?
Whereas we are a mix of everybody, of various skills, heights, races, everything, and it's stunning. And Stephen has done this genius thing of making everyone shine in the best possible way. You know, like the leggy girls are getting their moments to jump into the splits and hold their legs up for as long as they can. And then I've got comedy moments, but also full tap dancing, full leg kicking. Because Stephen's like, I wouldn't have you in the room if I didn't think you could do it.
Yes.
It might take you 4 weeks, whereas it's taken someone else 4 days.
Yeah.
But we've got the 4 weeks, so take your time,
yeah.
and we're all doing it. And it's, you know, but also we'd never make you do anything that you're not comfortable with. It's been the whole process with Tim and Jen, musical supervisor, and Ben MD. It's been phenomenal for me, like, because Jamie was gorgeous, but Jamie was very much, I was being a Scottish drag queen, and there was a couple of numbers involved. So it wasn't as hard work, whereas this has been being part of a group.
It's so weird because I do think of you as a dancer. I don't know why. Maybe because I've seen the Merry medley several times.
How many times?
So many times. So many times. But it was, and I didn't know it. You did it online during 2020, and you jumped into the swimming pool at your home. Where were you?
I think it's
In
they jumped into the
Lanzarote.
slits.
Yeah.
No, never.
Into the pool. And I thought this was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I thought, why have I never seen this live? And he said, I've been doing it for years, and I've obviously just hadn't seen you since you've been doing it, I guess. You know, our own worlds not colliding. And I think post-pandemic, I made a much bigger effort to suddenly be soccer mum cheering on the girls. Because one, I don't find it intimidating. I'm not part of that commercial world. And also, I love it. I love watching my mates perform. I think it's incredible.
Love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why I love a Sunday at the Two Brewers.
Yes.
I get to stay and watch Sandra and Marsha Mallory, whoever else is on. You know, and even if I'm
love those
out and
girls.
about,
Yeah.
even if I'm gigging in Manchester, I'll always try and go and see another queen who's on.
Yeah.
Because I love it.
Yeah,
I love
same.
watching drag. I love
It's entertaining. It's fun. It's escapism. It's just takes you out of the shitty world that we live in.
And that is exactly what it is. And I said this on Sunday night, actually, during Sandra's show, before everything went a bit mad, that, you know, drag right now is under a lot of strain and a lot of criticism through the drag queen story times and things like that. And for me, and I've watched drag my whole life, growing up in Scotland and going on holiday to Blackpool and things like that. There was drag queens everywhere. And it's never been anything but entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's what it is when it comes down to it. And of course, we can have a political message and we can say stuff because we've got a platform and a microphone to say stuff, and we should be doing it. But also it boils down to escapism and entertainment, and that's all I want to do, certainly with it. And if we can help people, you know, then even better.
I still get really shocked when people come up and tell me what I've meant to them, or somehow they've seen my work and I've done this, that, and the other thing. Because you never think you're going to affect people in that way. You just don't think with your work that you would do. So I've seen that particularly. What's a bit frightening is we are seem to be swinging back around to what it was like. Probably when I was younger in the 80s, I think it's that kind of vibe where it's kind of hostile vibe. I don't know where that's come from. It's just a build from the right wing, or post-pandemic, everyone's become a bit more fractured and they just kind of blurt out what they think now.
Yes.
I don't know.
It feels like a point of the blame game. Like, don't look at me, look over here. This is where the issue is.
Yeah. Very true.
It's a more distraction technique.
I think it is a distraction.
I don't think we can't go through this episode without talking about Sunday.
Yeah.
So for those that haven't learned, there was a homophobic attack outside the Two Brewers on Sunday where two men were unfortunately stabbed. Luckily, they're okay.
Yes.
They've been discharged from hospital, but you were there in the room. How was that for you? Because you weren't, I think, were you off duty there?
I'd finished the show, Sandra was on, and we were all having a great time, and a lot of the company of Lacage were there because they'd come to see the show, because lots of them have never seen me do
and it's
the
kind
show.
of the end of your first proper week.
And it's the end of our first week, so we were all out having a good time and having a great time. The atmosphere, as it usually always is in the Two Brewers, was fantastic. And and then we suddenly noticed there was drama at the front door. And, you know, there's drama at the front door sometimes because someone's a bit too drunk or whatever. You can never really know.
It is the Two Brewers.
It is the Two Brewers.
Yes.
But
when
then
it got
I've never been knowingly sober in that place, to be fair.
and then we obviously very quickly found out what was happening. And I have to say that every single member of the team at the Two Brewers was sensational on Sunday at keeping the situation as calm as possible. Security were out there keeping us all safe. We were kept in the building, obviously, until emergency services arrived. And they arrived very quickly as well, which is a great testament also. And then, we I think we tried to go on as much as we could. And then obviously we were told we had to stop. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
think
didn't
there was a feeling of, no, this shouldn't happen to us, and we should keep going, which I kind of understand. And then when you stop and think, no, actually, this is a very serious incident.
Yes,
we need to all go home and
stop.
stop. So we did, and then obviously I spoke to Jimmy and everyone at the Brewers the next day as much as I could, because they're obviously still dealing with the police and everything.
Yeah.
But for me, and Carl last night, who plays Alban in La Cage, made a speech at the end of the show.
I saw
which they came to me and asked if I thought it was a good idea, and I said of course, because I think drag and everything like that is very much in the mainstream now, but I think people do, rightly so, see it as light and entertainment, but also we have to look at the fact that the situation right now, especially right now, is these things are more frequent. And homophobia, actually any sort of marginalised community is being attacked continuously now. And what we wanted to say last night at the end of the show was, our show ends with love and hope. And we need everyone to know that, yes, that's fantastic, and please take that out into the world and show everyone that queer love is a really strong thing. But don't forget that it's not perfect yet.
No.
And we still have to fight, and we still have to look after each other.
Absolutely. I had a friend that was there on the Sunday night, and he also ended up going yesterday as well. So I asked him to talk about it with me. So I'm going to just read out a little message that goes out to the Two Brewers.
Okay.
And he just wanted to say how quickly and safely the entire situation was handled. Sandra continued the show as normal, and a lot of the people inside were unaware of what happened until they were leaving, which is a huge testament to the staff at the Two Brewers. The staff always do their utmost to make it such a safe space for our community, and none of them wanted any fuss last night. Especially, everyone went last night as well to show some solidarity.
Yeah.
They were so modest, especially with their security. It was nice to see a lot of similar faces last night from Sunday too, and that's why Bagger wanted to go as well, just to show solidarity for our community. So it's nice and beautiful how we all, even in 2023, that even though these things still happen, we still bond together and we almost unite as a stronger front.
I have not seen this in a while. When I first came to London in the late 90s, it's when the nail bombing attacks happened. And that obviously had escalated. And weirdly, I was about to move to Brick Lane as well, just as that was happening. So and I lived near Brixton at the time, so I saw the Brixton one happen near me. And then I was about to move to Brick Lane a few weeks later. I was visiting a friend that I was about to move in with that weekend when the second one went off. I wasn't in Soho when the Admiral Duncan happened. But I was at Astoria, which was a big famous music venue that had a really great GAY night on.
Yeah.
For when the police came on stage to address everybody, and I feel, and there's a lot of things that have happened since then, obviously, but it felt like that suddenly, and hopefully this is an isolated, just crazy one-off attack.
Yes.
And when they catch him. I think we all be quite like to see him caught fairly quickly and before he's lynched. But hopefully it's just a crazy person. But it's still, I love the fact that in a weird way that it saps people together so much and focuses people. And La Cage aux Folles, of all things to be on at the moment, which was so instrumental in the 80s of changing people's minds. Those historic stories of the first tryouts in Boston, when it was a very, very straight audience, and they completely rose as one to the end of the performance. How weird is that to be part of that now? I think it's very, very emotional.
Yes.
It's really emotional.
I just got goosebumps.
Last night was very emotional for us all, because obviously so many of us were there, and also just for the whole process. Tim has been very keen to present a very queer, very gay version of this show, and the creative team are queer. Mass majority of the company are. For the first time ever, actually, it's been predominantly presented by, if not one, both male leads have been heterosexual, which is mad for how queer a story it is. And of course, that's a whole other debate as well. But
that's its own catfish.
But it's fantastic that we are part of this production, and that 40 years on, it's still having that effect. I mean, luckily the way it's staged, we're on stage with Carl for I Am What I Am, but we're to the sides, so we can kind of glimpse the audience, and I'm seeing men, big men, you know, bawling their eyes out, which is one, a testament to Carl's performance, but two, a testament to the lyrics and the music and the story, because people suddenly go, oh, and what has become in some ways a very frivolous song, because it's sung a lot by drag queens of all varying degrees of success.
Talent.
But
I feel seen.
But when you see it in this context, and Carl does do a beautiful job of it really touches people. People are on their feet at the end of Act 1 because it's that.
I think it always takes people off guard slightly anyway, because in the context of the musical, the song is much a bigger punch to the stomach.
Yes, it really is.
Than it is in the club.
Yes,
especially at the beginning, with the rejection. It basically comes from. If you haven't seen the show, it comes from a rejection of the son character against Alban, which is basically the mother character in that gay relationship.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I'm just saying that to just kind of simplify it.
Yeah.
But it's such a horrible rejection that he sings "I am what I am," and it always gives me absolute sort of shivers just thinking about that, how it is in part of the show. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
It is the only
exciting.
song I know in the show. I don't know the show very well, so I do
It's
know.
not been on for a while, so no. I mean, there was a big revival back in 2010, wasn't the Graham Norton, John Barrowman
Chocolate
one?
Factory version.
Chocolate Factory
Yes,
version,
yeah.
which went for a while. And it went tour. John Partridge did it on tour.
Yes.
But it's not been, 10 years ago at least now.
Well, it's not
so-
been in London while I've been in London for like a decade now, so I'm like, I've always just missed it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
But
It was, yeah.
the song I Am What I Am, I think resonates with any queer person, because being told you grow up in a world where you are wrong and that you are disgusting, that you don't deserve love or happiness.
Yeah.
Those 4 words, I am what I am.
Yeah. It's
That's,
cool.
is that 5 words?
You will love-
Can't count.
Yeah.
Thank you, math, GCSE. I am.
It's a great score. It's a beautiful score. It's my favourite.
It's a lovely Jerry
score.
Herman, isn't
Jerry
it?
Herman's
Yes.
Yeah.
It's much more lyrical, I think, than a lot of the other ones are, and very funny. And very funny.
It's very funny. I feel very, very lucky to be part of it.
Oh yeah, shout out to Jack as well. I did Kinky Boots with
Yes,
Jack, and he's
Jack.
just like, he came up and hugged me the other day in full drag. I'm not joking. His legs started about the top of my head.
Well, can you imagine me?
Yeah.
Imagine me standing on stage next to Jack all the time, like, get me out of here.
Just the knee.
Literally. And when we have a drink after the show, everyone looks at Jack and then they look at me and they go, we know exactly who you two are, because you're always opposite ends of the stage. I said to Stephen Mears, don't put me anywhere near Jack. And every number I'm at this standing next to Jack, about 2 foot shorter.
Put me up a few steps at least.
Yeah, please,
Exactly.
let me stand on the stairs.
Yes. He is. He's so tall.
So tall.
So gorgeous.
Very
so
beautiful.
beautiful.
Lovely
And like,
person.
skinny and just incredible.
Are they the one that comes out in the full leopard?
Yes,
Oh,
isn't that picture
the
phenomenal?
picture is amazing.
I think Jack, when they saw the picture, we were sitting on the terrace having lunch and the pictures were released and Jack was in the dressing room underneath and I think the whole park heard the scream because this Jack just screamed and I said, they've seen the picture. Jack came upstairs and said, I could retire now, everybody.
That's
You're right there, please do.
Yeah. Or at least just sit down. Stop
Get on your
standing.
knees.
Yeah, full on showgirls down the stairs. That's it.
Yes.
Break your legs. Go on, get down there. And perfectly, if you need a photograph to sum up Jack in one photograph,
I mean, yes.
that photograph sums him up.
And that is not a
beautifully.
posed for a picture, by the way. That's live.
That mid number.
Oh,
That is
wow.
literally taken as she swings out that door. That's, I was like, I mean, everyone else would be like hanging out of the door or whatever, but Jack's bang on it every night. Stunning.
I'd have walked into the door, and the door would be worse off.
Yeah, exactly. Al James is a little bit clumsy.
I am as well. I mean, touch wood. I've only fallen once in this production, and it was in tech. Nobody other than everyone on stage and sitting out front saw. And I fell on the button of the number. So at least I went,
Oh.
boom, doom. So everyone was like, oh, God, just wait for it to get up and then we'll all go.
I mean, playing a comedy queen, that kind of works.
Yeah,
So.
it's fine.
Keep it in, darling.
Yeah, Stephen, can you do that every night? No.
My arse isn't insured for that much, sorry.
No. I can't get insurance on this anymore.
Well, it's been glorious having you here, Dan.
Oh, I'm
Thank you ever
thrilled.
so much.
Thank you for asking.
And it's a
me.
very busy schedule. We asked you. I think you were the first person we ever asked, but it was very timely, obviously, as well.
Yes, yeah.
Weirdly, the gods were smiling on us. But I think we have just one last question that James would like to ask you.
Oh, so
We ask everybody at the end of every.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
we do ask
Right.
at the end of every show. So, Bunny, if you're going to be an inanimate object that came to life in the Beast Castle today, what would you be and why?
Oh, that's actually quite. I can't think what it is. I'm going to say a staircase this time. So a glorious gilded staircase because it's very glamorous because it's Lacage.
Oh, I'm going to be a box so Mary can grow a bit.
Mary can stand on.
Mary can stand on.
How was your weekend? I forgot to ask you. Oh, we can talk about that later.
Honey, my box. You don't want to know about my box.
I was going to say, my goodness, okay. Oh, I'd like to be like I can't think of the word now.
Okay.
Like a corner suite. You know, like a like a sofa,
sofa.
but not just a sofa.
chaise
I
lounge?
want to be like a big L-shaped sofa.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes,
Oh.
I want as many people to sit on me as possible.
For you.
Does that work?
Yeah,
That
that's
works?
stunning. That's stunning. So, Lacage is running until when now?
Now the 23rd of September.
Okay, listeners, get your tickets, book your trains. Don't go on a strike day.
Oh, and also Leamington Spa for pantomime again.
Panto, yes, from the 7th or 8th of December.
I know.
I can't remember.
I know. I just did my promo launch last weekend. I'm like, people keep asking me. I'm going like, no.
But the script's finished at last,
Ooh.
so that's done.
Yes, fantastic.
And where can the listeners find you on the social medias?
At Mary Mac Official. No one else wants to be me. I just like the word official. Instagram, Twitter.
I mean, your mum.
What's the
Your
new
mum.
one? Threads. I'm on that. I don't do anything on it, but I'm on there.
I just did my first thread post, about the new show, and I was just like, I felt like I should say something.
It's strange. I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, I don't know if I'll ever use it again. Never mind.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Mary, for coming
you.
on. And we shall hopefully see you soon at Lacage.
Yes,
And we'll see you at the Brewers performing. We'll do
Yes.
lots of outings and trips to come watch you perform.
That's a very good
Maybe our aim of the summer is to watch the Mary Mac medley as many times as possible.
Yeah, why not?
Yay. That's
Yes.
deal. That sounds
Okay.
fantastic. Until next time, darlings, we will see you on Bunny and the Beast.